you? Oh my gosh, I'm so good. I mean, do I need to go through the reasons?
Yes.
Okay, I am wearing real clothes. I just got to listen to our theme song for our podcast, which I love. Thank you, Astravia, for letting us co-op your song. Be where you are. I love where I am right now. I can say that with my whole heart.
Yeah, and we are so excited to be launching our very first live show in collaboration with ZTV, and we are in this beautiful facility of ALX Community. And as I mentioned, it's a live show. So if there's any mic issues, if you could let us know in the chat, that would be amazing. You can also put questions in the chat and we will try to get to them. And it's our first show, so how about a little grace for us as we move through this process?
All right, so tonight we are launching a party, basically, a mocktail party. Yep. Following upon the heels of our first live show that we did last month with our very good friend Carucci, author of Sobrieties and Sobrieties to Make It a Double. We are here tonight with her, and we have a local mixologist from Hummingbird, and we are going to sample some tasty drinks tonight. I'm super excited.
Yes, me too. So, Martha, welcome to We Stab Live on ZTV.
Hi, Jess. I feel like I should say hi, Jess. Hi, Jess. I'm so happy to be back with you guys again. We're like old hat at this.
I know. It feels very familiar. And the last time we were all together, we were launching your second book, Sobrieties to Make It a Double. How has your launch been going?
It's been great. I had so much fun doing that launch with you all. It was just an honor for me to do it with you. Lots of great feedback. I'm going to take this off while I'm talking far away. Lots of great feedback on the book and on our event. We had a lot of people tune in. I think there were over 2,000 views of it. So I'm excited to be back with you guys tonight and try out some mocktails.
Right. So we have 3 segments that we're going to do tonight, and here is what we're calling the pop and pour. These are non-alcoholic drinks that are available to you straight out of the bottle. Now, Martha, before we get started with trying, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of mocktails, and we invited you here because, obviously, you are in recovery. You told us a story at the live show that really stuck with me. Can you recap that for us?
Yeah, and some people have read the piece I wrote called Sober Curious, Sober Pissed. And, when we talked about this, I won't go into the whole story, but basically, when we talked about doing this, it's the Sober Curious movement and people switching to non-alcoholic drinks on the heels of Dry January, people that are health conscious, they want to maybe not wake up feeling hungover in the morning. So it's really taken on a big life of its own with a lot of new products. And many of the local restaurants, like Hummingbird, we're going to hear from Ken soon, have offered non-alcoholic options to the drink menu, which is great for someone like me who wants to go out, feel like they can have something fun and festive to drink without having the alcohol in it. So I went to a local restaurant, and I was very excited that they had a lot of offerings for non-alcoholic mocktails. I ordered one, I had it, it was delicious. When the waiter came around, I asked for a different one to try, and he made a very bad joke in poor taste, saying that, oh, the first one I brought you had alcohol in it. And every time I tell that story, people just cringe because they know that I've worked very hard to stay sober for going on 9 years this coming May. So I had the opportunity to talk to the manager of that restaurant and explain, this isn't something that you joke about, whether someone is not drinking alcohol because they're pregnant or they're on medication or they're allergic or they're like me in recovery. So I'm really glad that we're going to be able to talk to someone like Ken, who is an amazing bartender from Hummingbird here in Alexandria, to hear, just so that he can understand from my perspective and I can hear a little bit about what, as a bartender, they can offer to someone who doesn't want to drink alcohol that night but still have fun at a night out.
Yeah. So what do we have here in terms of offerings? You're calling this the pop and pour segment. This is for somebody like me who doesn't like to work. I mean, I'm super excited to go over here and watch all of this magic happen, but this is my jam. I'm seeing that all I have to do is twist the top and dump it in a cup and enjoy. So
Yeah.
and it's so. I just have to say it's so pretty.
Yeah,
It's
not just
pretty.
a cup, beautiful glassware.
I know it's
We're very-
gorgeous.
We're very excited. So I did just want to drop some facts because you know I do love
She
the
is
data.
the data girl.
I
She's
do
the
love
data
the data. So the non-alcoholic market is booming, and in order for that to happen, there has to be a market for people wanting it. So the sober curious movement seems to be driving the distributors, it's driving the makers, and it's driving the retailers. The non-alcoholic market, which is also known as non-alc, I do love an abbreviation. Non-alc is not just soda, juice, smoothies, coffee, tea. We are talking about specialty cocktails or spirits that are specifically marketed towards people who are not looking to have alcohol for various reasons.
Right.
I hate that story you tell. It makes me so angry. There are lots of reasons why someone, forget recovery, like you said, pregnant, allergy, there's lots of reasons. So,
Most reasons.
Yeah,
All kinds of
exactly.
reasons, yeah.
so the market is going to reach 1.6 trillion, that is trillion with a T, by 2025. That blew me away. There is a lot of money to be made in the
How
non-health.
many zeros is that?
I don't know, and
It's
I
a
feel
lot.
like that's a trick question.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I feel like that was an ambush. I don't care for that one.
I'm not even sure I knew that that was a real number, to be honest. Okay, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I think we should talk about that. And like you said, we're going to taste it. And this is the real easy one. This is the pop and pour. All of these drinks that we are featuring in this segment are just open, pour into the glass. So the first one I'm going to have us try is from Mocktails. And Mocktails has various flavors that you can have. This one is going to be a Mockapolitan. So it's basically just a cosmopolitan, but without the alcohol. So
So what is that? Like cranberry juice?
cranberry juice and usually vodka.
Okay.
And I love these little coops. I do love a coop. A
They're
coop
very
is the best.
So while you're pouring, can I just share that Mocktails, this was one of the very first ones that I'm aware of that was on the market. And I had the pleasure of talking to the president of Mocktails Beverage Inc., Bill Gemelli, who's from Massachusetts, where I am. And when I first got sober, these guys brought a bunch of their product out to my house for a mocktail party for a bunch of my friends. So they have, I think, 4 flavors, and they have teamed up with a lot of hotels and large companies to offer a non-alcoholic option to a lot of different events. So they've been really great. I talk about them in my first book. They have a copy of my first book signed in their office. So this one's to my friends at Mocktails.
All right. Cheers to
Mocktails.
Let's try this out. That's pretty yummy. It's very
Oh, it's good. It's not super sweet. That's been my worry, is that mocktails would be like cloyingly sweet. And this, you can taste the cranberry. It's lovely.
Very yummy.
Very yummy. It's kind of hard not to chug it, I'll be honest. But I'll be a little.
You should be a little maybe.
Right. I know. That's good. I'm
I
kind
give
of
that a
noting. I'm
thumbs
taking
up.
notes here.
Definitely
Yeah.
thumbs up.
The next one that we will be trying is Mingle, which when we celebrated your book launch, afterwards
Popped a few of those.
you popped a few Mingles. So this Mingle, there's various flavors, but the one we're trying today is blood orange elderflower. This is a sparkling cocktail. So you would normally probably just serve it up, but we want it a little bit cold, so we're gonna just put it over a little ice.
And Martha, didn't you say that this is the one that you bring to like super celebratory functions when people are drinking champagne and you want something a little bit fancier?
I do, yeah, and it's just really easy. In fact, this one you can buy at Safeway. I bought it here at Carucci Safeway.
No way.
It's about $10.
Okay.
You can also order it online, but there are a few great flavors, and it's easy for me to just bring instead of bringing a bottle of wine to someone as a gift or whatever. Give them another option, and then I have something fun too.
Exactly.
I like it. It says it's a party. I'll drink what I want.
Yeah, I was hoping you agreed with that because I love that too.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers to Mingle.
It's nice that we're actually mingling in person doing this. it's not in our houses.
I know. Far away.
I feel sad for everyone else, but
I think too.
for me, I feel
You
happy.
too can do this at ALX.
Yes.
Right. This is good.
Isn't it good?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is even less sweet than the mocktail.
This one's cut more by like the sparkling and
Sparkling, yeah.
I like the elderflower too. I'm always interested in like interesting combinations of flavors. And of course, it really speaks to me that I can just go pick it up at my local Safeway.
Did she say that she doesn't like to do a lot of work? So,
Around my drinks,
right.
I work other ways. Thank you very much.
So many other ways, for the record. Let's be clear.
All right, what's next?
So we got a little feedback that we want our masks down
Yeah.
when we're talking.
Okay.
So we are trying to do the balance of
safe yet
safe yet
audible.
communicative. So
Hard.
keep those comments coming,
That's right.
and we'll adjust accordingly. So our final pop and pour. This is super intriguing to me because this came from a shop here locally in Alexandria, which, by the way, I forgot to mention that for this show, for We Sat Live, we are planning on focusing on Alexandria businesses, Alexandria leaders, issues that affect this area, but I kind of feel like it's applicable to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're from Alexandria or not. But I do want to give a shout out to Unwind, who provided this bottle for us. This is called the Forestier. Tell us a little bit about this, Martha, because you're the one that said, if we're doing this, I'm bringing this.
That's right. So Vanessa Moore is a friend of mine. She owns Unwind, and they have 2 locations here. Vanessa has helped my husband and me pick out wines for years and years before she even ended up at Unwind. And in maybe a year ago and told her, I don't drink anymore. She said, I have this great section over here of some alternative beverages for you, and this is one that I really recommend. It tastes a little bit like cream soda, has a little pear flavor, and it smells a little bit like Christmas tree. There's like a fir element to it. Thank you, Jess. And so I actually like this as an alternative to champagne. I was a big fan of champagne, and that was one of the things that I was very scared about giving up when I got sober. Like, how am I not going to have that champagne toast at my daughter's wedding or whatever? And if you guys, I'm dying for you to try this one. I love it, and thank you to Vanessa and the crew at Unwind for hooking us up with a bottle.
And I just want to say that everything on here is in French. So this is really French. It's not Martinelli's.
Isn't that good?
It is good. It's very yummy. Again, not too sweet, and you
Ooh, it
definitely
smells like Christmas.
you do. You get these notes of like pine and pear and a little bit of vanilla. Maybe
Yes,
in there.
vanilla. That's why I get the cream soda flavor.
Look at
So,
you.
Yeah.
What a palate.
See, it can be fun without the booze and the
I know. I
decanting
mean,
of the
this is.
wine.
I will have to say, this is my first non-alcoholic
Taste test.
tasting. Yeah, which is kind of sad.
I do like this. This is very delicate.
So I brought this to a Christmas party at my boss's house where they had lovely champagne glasses set out and I think a sparkling rosé or something for everyone. And I felt, like I could celebrate and be
It's
part of it
super
with
festive,
this.
super fancy. It tastes really good.
It does taste really good. And
Okay.
delicate is definitely the word I would use for that. And it looks like.
So, like, what's the price point again on these? Sorry.
No, it's okay. So the mingle, which I think Martha talked about, this is something that you can get pretty much anywhere.
Okay.
Target, Safeway, and this is going to run you about $10 a bottle, which is great. And then when you need to, where do you get mocktails?
Mocktails they sell locally at giant grocery stores, and I think you can also order those online too.
And then, like we said, this bottle, which came from a specialty wine store here in Alexandria called Unwind, this is 18. So
I mean, that's really
Not-
not too bad.
we did not try the Kin, but Kin, some other brands for time. We could try a million, but for time, we didn't try Kin. Kin is another pop and pour. That can be a little bit on the pricier end, and that one I think is just usually available online.
Yeah.
It can get up to $40 a bottle for a Ken euphoric. So
Interesting.
And it's
Yeah.
a little bit more bitter, so
Okay.
for people who enjoy drinks that have a bitter flavor, it's a good one too.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So those are our pop and pours.
pop and pour.
Super tasty, super affordable. should we move over to the bar for our next level of, I don't know, complication?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And I will serve you more.
Hey, this is where you're mixing up stuff?
Yeah,
I would say,
for that.
when we started the podcast, I had no idea that you were such a mixologist.
There are so many things you don't know about me, Jessby. I'm a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in a quandary.
That's what I always say about you, Jess.
That's right.
All right.
So look at this setup. Isn't this so nice? It's slightly overwhelming for me because although I'm playing a mixologist tonight, I am not one in real life. But we're going to go with it. So this area is called Make at Home. And this is a bit of a step up. These are called non-alcoholic spirits. And I need to read the definition of a spirit because, sorry, I forgot to take my mask off. I found this fascinating. It's a liquid flavored with botanicals, but then, or other ingredients. It doesn't have to be botanicals. And then they're distilled, but without alcohol. In my mind, a distillery means, like moonshine and alcohol. So for sure blew my mind that you can distill spirits and remove the alcohol. You do have to be careful in this category of these distilled spirits because some of them are low alcohol and not alcohol free. And to count as low alcohol, it has to have 0.5% or less. So you just need to make sure when you're looking at the bottles. So we have 3 different kinds of cocktails that we are going to try make at home. And this means that this is not a standalone ingredient. It is supposed to be mixed with something else in order to enjoy a more complex and nuanced cocktail. Okay?
All right. So this does look a little complicated.
I know.
I'm
We're
glad
going to see what's
she's
happening.
doing it. I
Yeah.
just get to sit here. This is fun.
This is why I have friends who like to mix. And
This one requires a shaker, which makes me so
But
excited.
that's fun too.
That is fun.
we just got word that we need to be louder.
Okay.
So make sure
Louder.
your mask off. Okay.
My mask is off and I will project.
Okay.
So this is called a shrub. And a shrub is actually a style of drink that is, it's not a plant. A style of drink is called a shrub. And this came from a local vendor in the area. This is a locally made product, and it is currently being sold at the Hour, which is a super fabulous vintage cocktail glass place. Plus, they sell items to go with your cocktails. That is in Old Town Alexandria, and they provided us with the shrub. This particular shrub is a pear chai shrub, and it goes into the shaker. You're going to do about 2 ounces per drink. So there's 3 of us.
Do you know what 6 ounces is off the top of your head?
I talked to Ken before we went live, and for 2 ounces, it's a 4 count. So,
So
there you go.
count while you're pouring?
Yes. I mean, if you're a good bartender, you can also use one of these, which is a cheater move, but they're so cute.
It's a jigger, which is one of my all-time favorite words. And I remember when I heard that first, I laughed every time. But that's the real name.
Yeah.
So the pear chai shrub is going to be the shrub mix, and the bottles tend to be a little bit smaller because you're not using as much of the product since it's just it's one ingredient in a cocktail.
It's kind of like a concentrate.
It's a concentrate. So this one is the shrub and ginger ale, which we're using Q. Oh, nice.
Do you count for that too?
That one I'm just kind of eyeballing because
she's
it's
so good.
live TV.
My mind is kind of blown right now.
It's like Facebook, and then you shake it.
Like a
Come on, Jeff,
plastic.
take it.
Come on, take it. You gotta get into it.
It's filling. I don't want to get that into it. It's like leaking on
Oh
me.
boy,
That's not a good sign at all. Ken is going to be real unhappy about that.
What cup do they go? What cups do they go?
They go in this with the rosemary.
Oh.
So we'll get these. Will you grab that other rosemary? And then we top it with grapefruit.
So this is 3.
This is a 3 ingredient.
ingredients.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying not to breathe or at all.
Look at that. No.
away by the aesthetics of everything, because you know you really don't have to sacrifice on taste or the fancy.
That smells good. It's like apple cider a little bit.
Cheers. Well, I noticed that there's apple cider vinegar in this one.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So it's
to
gotta
your
be good
health,
for your gut health
right?
too,
To your
right?
health.
Exactly. Now tell me that isn't a fun drink.
That's delicious.
It's beautiful. Oh,
Really
that
good.
is delicious.
That's really good.
That
You
is
can
my
taste
favorite
the
so far.
chai.
I'm gonna have to up my game and just stop popping and pouring. Like this is delicious.
And this bottle,
Or just have
$13. And so many cocktails can come out of this bottle.
How much?
$13.
$13.
Just have another sip of that one.
Just gonna, you know.
Jess is trying to abscond with this.
I know. I am. I'm gonna have to go get some. We can get this at the hour. Can we get it online too?
Probably.
Okay. Element Shrub.
I'm going to say yes, you can get it online.
Okay.
Can't we get anything
Pretty
online?
much.
Can
Or
you-
drive by and pick up, you know, whatever.
Would one of you kindly hand me a napkin? I have shrub all over my hands.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It does. It does.
All
So
right.
coming up next is going to be the seedlip. Now, I don't know about you, but have you been inundated on your social media feeds
Yes.
with seedlip, curious elixirs, and I have been so curious, not about curious elixirs, but seedlip. First of all, the bottle's gorgeous.
Is that a squirrel?
It is a squirrel.
Oh my god, I thought it was
It's a squirrel made out of ginger.
That's what I was.
I'm so curious about this. And I see a little pine.
Right. So there are 3 flavors of seedlip. This one, though, that we're going with is the Grove 42.
Just tell people the sound is going to be off for 1 second.
Oh, and while I prep this, we're just going to turn the sound off for just a second because that's how it rolls on your
We're
live.
live.
I'm gonna keep drinking over here.
This is delicious.
This is so good. Okay.
Bees
Should we clear
for
this?
this. Yes.
So good.
Just wait to get chemistry.
I'm like, I can do this, I think.
Are we back on sound?
This
All right.
doesn't seem
Sound
like
is
it.
back.
It's not too overwhelming. Look at those cool glasses.
These are fun, huh?
Did we get these from somewhere special?
We got them
We
from
know.
Ani Gillette, who's amazing.
Okay.
That's the special place we got this glassware.
Thank you, Ani.
Thanks, Ani. So basically what we're going to make for this is just kind of like instead of your vodka tonic or your gin and tonic, this is a seedlip and tonic. And this one is a citrus flavor, so it is more tonic than seedlip.
Okay.
So it's already, you don't have to mix it.
You don't, no. Then you don't mix a gin and tonic. Right, Ken? We'll ask Ken when he comes on camera.
He said yes.
He said yes.
Don't mix a gin and tonic. Okay.
And we're using the Fever Tree Indian tonic. Didn't know that was a thing until I read the ingredient for seedlip.
I like that Jess does all the hard work for this. I like
I'm
that I
glad
can
you
sit
like
here
that,
and try
Martha.
this. You always do it
Makes
so
it-
well.
I'm glad you like that,
I
Martha.
do. I'm here to enjoy it.
It needs this fun little orange twist, which or
Oh.
I'm gonna have you guys
Do
grab
twist.
your orange twist because you know germs and whatnot. But do you know what to do with the twist? You're supposed to actually like kind of twist it to get the essence,
That's
The
crazy.
rind or the peel?
the peels. So you're gonna want to twist it back and forth,
You want me to
and that
twist the
releases
twist?
some of the oils that are in the rind.
Did you know this
I
before?
did. I will say that I was a bartender at TGI Fridays,
Where they have plenty of
where they have plenty of twists. So that releases the essence, and you can put it around your rim, or you
don't
can
even
put it
like
in.
stir this.
Or gin and tonic. But see,
It's been a
what
while,
tonic,
all right.
You're doing very good at this. Look what happened tonight.
I can't do everything for you.
You messed up your twist.
She must have
It's ruined.
I'm tired.
I don't like this one.
I do like this one.
Wow, it tastes like I taste the tonic.
I will say these are large glasses, and you maybe in a shorter glass, more of the seedlip would come out.
It's bitter.
But it is bitter. The tonic, it smells bitter too. All right, seedlip. We got our eye on you, seedlip.
Yeah.
But up, see lip.
Maybe not a
Not a
sponsor
fan.
of the show.
Sorry. I mean, we're all about being honest.
We are.
You know, true.
We owe
That's
it
a
to
true
your viewers.
story.
I don't like it yet. I keep drinking it. This is
I
a
find it-
pattern.
I find it very refreshing.
It
I
is
don't mind that
refreshing.
at all.
I don't mind it, but I'm
And then,
not.
okay, I'm almost done with all my hard work, and then we
Then we
get
do
to
it
refreshing.
right.
I'm excited about that. So everyone loves a mule, right?
Yeah.
Moscow Mule, little, I think it's vodka and ginger beer, usually.
Yes.
So we have Dose. The Dose is a product that you did a learning event with, hosted by our friends at Unwind. Tell us a little bit about it.
So of course, see, I had like one job to do, and it was I was sent some information about Dose and its owner and founder, but I forgot that. So I will say that I was on an event that Unwind did with Dose, and the gentleman's name is Ari, and he explained why he created this. He too hasn't had a drink in many, many years, like myself, and he wanted some good alternatives. So this is not fermented, like you were saying,
Right.
It's infused. So there is an orange kind of liqueur flavored Dose. There is a gin, and there is a bittersweet. So this is the orange flavor. And we're making, what's the name of the drink? Is it basically just the
It's a Dose Mule.
Dose Mule? There you go. But these guys were great on the event and I was very happy that Unwind was, during dry January, they usually have a Zoom for wine tastings, and they have that at their location. But they did one with Dose, and they sent everybody the recipes ahead of time for the drinks you can make. You can add alcohol if you want. But they also have a relatively new restaurant and wine bar called Revel, and they're going to have a non-alcoholic drink on their cocktail menu at Revel, which is great. So, in addition to all the other yummy wines and things they have there, you can have a non-alcoholic option.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, so this
What's
is
that? Ostrovia? I don't know how you say that Russian cheers word, but this is like basically a mule.
in Swedish.
Very nice.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
That's yummy.
Ooh, it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good.
I mean, it's delicious.
There's a little vanilla-y in there, too.
for sure. Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan.
I like that.
I would really like this with like a club soda or a tonic. This one is too sweet for me, mixed with a ginger beer, but I would drink the heck out of that
Yeah, I
on
like this.
some club soda or
This is
just
even
over
nice in
ice.
the summertime.
That's
So
yummy.
before we go to Ken and you do the next move, but there are a couple questions that I got from the audience. One is, are any of those non-alcoholic wines, are they all cocktails? The closest thing I would say to a wine was the Le Forestier,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's actually not a non-alcoholic wine. You can buy those at the store. There's some called like Free, and there's a couple that are, and actually Unwind has some non-alcoholic wines. I stay away from those because as someone in recovery, that's just way too dangerous and too close to home.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Because that was something I was actually going to ask you. As far as, is it gauche to be trying to recreate something if you're in recovery? I'm only talking about those who are in recovery where alcohol is a trigger. If you are mimicking, is it getting too close to, I don't know.
No, that's to a trigger.
Yeah,
So,
trigger.
no, that's a really good question, and that's why I would say that the wine, and I am not supposed to have any kind of near beer. Even the O'Douls or the whatever, because there is a very small alcohol percentage in those, and it's just not a good idea. There are many people who might have a problem with this too, with the cocktails, whatever. I don't. I personally think that maybe early in my sobriety it would have been much more difficult for me, but now, as I said, I'm coming up on 9 years in May, God willing, and this is just me enjoying natural ingredients, things that someone who also is in recovery created for the sole purpose, which means a lot to me, that he thought enough to say, like, I believe in this, I want to put it on the market. So I can go out with you guys, and if you are ordering Moscow Mules, regular ones, and I have something, I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as sometimes I make a friend or someone taste the drink and make sure there's no alcohol in it. But yeah, I think it's a personal thing that if someone feels like it's a little bit too much of a trigger for them, this would not in any way cause me to think about having a real drink. It's not like, oh, well, I had that, so now I really, really want to have a real drink. This makes it so much easier for me to go out and enjoy it. But so these are not wines. And
But
then,
those are available.
those are available, yeah. Same with the near beers. There's a lot of low alcohol percentage beers. And then another person asked about the calorie content of all this stuff, which is a great question.
Great question. I can tell you, I'll grab the sweetest
Let's go
one
to the
first.
data lady here, Jeff.
The sweetest one that I found, it only has 5 calories, which is shocking to me because this was very, very sweet. Now, granted, it was mixed with the ginger beer.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
think
can
the
get,
problem
like,
is you're
ginger
going
beer.
to have a lot of calories in your mixers, as is with like any kind of
But I know there is a light ginger beer available. I've had it. There's a very a no sugar one too. Q has low sugar options too.
And this is 0 calories, 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugar. That must be why you didn't like this one, because it was just with tonic.
I mean, it's a really cute bottle.
What
It's
about
so
the
cute.
shrub?
The shrub,
You
you
already
have to
said
pull
that.
that. I see 20 calories on the back
Everybody's
of
got
that
to
one.
pull their glasses up.
I know.
20 calories.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
a
good
certain age.
news. That's good news. That I love.
Total carbs 5 grams. Total sugars 4 grams.
Now I think in the mocktails, the pour directly into a glass. I
A
think
little
those
bit higher sugar.
those are going to have a little bit higher sugar, but I will say they were not nearly as sweet as I thought they would
And
be.
the mingle wasn't bad for the sugar content. I would walk over there, but Susan would yell at me probably for moving around on the set, and I don't want the ZTV crew to be,
So, should we move on to the real expert?
Yes, I'm going
Yay.
to clock out.
Yeah.
I'm going to clock out, and I think that we should turn it over to an actual expert. Please welcome Kenneth Petty from Hummingbird, and we are so grateful for your support tonight. We would like to hear all about mocktails. Do you call them that at Hummingbird?
We will call them mocktails. We put them on the menu that way just so people understand the marketing behind them and that they don't order it expecting to have alcohol in it.
Or
As
vice versa.
someone who's on the same journey with 11 years of being clean,
Congratulations.
for me to touch on a couple of things, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to start setting up here because timing is always an issue. No one sits at my bar without food in front of them,
Oh,
so
sorry,
there's some
no,
cheese
sorry,
and
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
For the two of you, better one to pick at.
Can you throw me a pickle?
But it's about creating the same experience when you go out in a restaurant, whether you have alcohol present or not. It's not about mimicking the same experience as if you had a drink. It's about having fun, enjoying complementary flavors that go well together, and about going out with your friends. And you can do that with or without alcohol. So it's not about mimicking it. It's about everyone just having a great time for whatever reason. Because like you said, not everyone, it's not always about sobriety, maybe pregnant, or maybe just not drinking that night.
Yeah.
So for the first one, what I'm going to make is, I made a homemade shrub. So to touch on what you did before, the shrub is actually the syrup. I'm actually going to pull this down because I'm a safe distance. I'm Italian, so I don't think you'll have any trouble hearing me though. A shrub is a fruit-based syrup, usually with vinegar. So to prepare one at home, if you ever have any leftover fruit, you get a bushel of peaches, you get a bushel of apples, you have a berry bush in your backyard, whatever, you can pick it and you can chop it up. You put it in a mason jar. So you get about 2 cups of fruit in the mason jar. Then you will take apple cider vinegar. You'll heat the apple cider vinegar to get it boiling, and you'll pour it over top of the fruit inside the mason jar, and you'll basically let it sit for about 2 to 3 days. And then you'll take it back out, heat it up, and put in 2 cups of sugar. So I'm not going to tell you the calorie count on my version because it's going to be a little bit higher, but I think you will enjoy it. Sorry, just getting myself set up here. Need a little ice. So this shrub here was made with blackberries that we have from over the summer. And then I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice to it, and then we're going to top it off with the club soda.
Is the shrub always going to be made out of a fruit base?
Yes, yeah. The definition of the shrub is that it is a fruit-based syrup.
Okay.
And then it's a component in different cocktails. So we're going to add a little fresh lime juice.
Can I just say that I'm so glad I'm not in charge anymore?
You did a great job.
You
Can
did
just
a
say
great
that
job.
Jessica
Hey,
did
you
an
know,
awesome job.
If you need a little side gig, we'll be hiring for the summer, you know. We're right
TGI
down the
Fridays
street.
worked out well for me.
I did have a lot of flair at TGI Fridays, so, you know.
Alright.
So Ken, you're at Hummingbird, which is down very close to where we are now, a couple blocks, in the Hotel Indigo.
Yep.
And phenomenal food, and they have been. You guys have been great supporters of my other hat that I wear, the National. What's it called?
Breast
Center Foundation. So I wanted to say thank you for
Live
that.
TV.
You had the Angel Wings one night
Right.
at Hummingbird, and Monty Durham had an event there. So we got some good coverage
Good
for the
food.
foundation. Yep.
Wonderful. And it was a lot of fun that night.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Alexander's about. This one is called Shrub Off 2020. Because we can't say what we really think about 2020 on the menu, so that's what we call it.
Shrub off.
Shrub off
What is
2020.
funny? I love that. Oh my gosh.
I am here for that name.
Ooh, that's
I'm having a moment.
sorry, Jess. I'll be quiet.
That is
Jess is having a moment.
delicious.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just
It's beyond delicious. What's a better word?
I would say it, but I'm not going to say it on TV.
It
I'm not
is.
sure what we're thinking of.
It's gorgeous.
thank you. Just like anything, when you're preparing anything, it's just about having the freshest ingredients possible, whether you're preparing food, cocktails, whatever. And the gorgeous thing about making a shrub is it's on your shelf. You can use it for mocktails. You can literally glaze meat with it.
Ooh.
You can add a little bit of it. You know, we all get tired of drinking a gallon of water a day like they tell us to. So you add a little couple drops of that in there to give it a little flavor, and it's perfect. And it sits on the shelf for up to 6 months because the vinegar is acidic and astringent, and the bottling works then. You can keep it forever.
Wow.
I mean,
So.
it's good. It's good for your health. Apple cider
It
vinegar
is.
is really good for you.
I hear it's good for your gut
It
health.
Yeah.
It's-
You know I'm into right now.
Right. I know. Plugging which episode?
I don't know the name,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I'm waiting on my billing results as we speak. And how much do your non-alcoholic options run at Hummingbird? Are they on par with regular cocktails?
Not typically. Normally, a freshly prepared mocktail would be anywhere from $6 to $9, depending on the components. Things like fresh juices, extracts, things that we make in house. So they're usually about half the price of your average cocktail.
When the show is over, I do not have to give this back.
You do not.
I
So you can finish it.
right?
Like I said, just glance over the 2 cups of sugar that I added to it. I'm just going to assemble my next one here
I
real
have a
quick.
question from the audience while you're assembling.
Go right ahead.
Martha, we're putting you to work.
Well, yeah.
So far, I'm the one looking out.
So can these mocktails be made ahead? So obviously the shrub is made ahead and some of the other stuff, but you probably wouldn't recommend completing the mix or all of it together until you're ready to serve. Is that right?
No, the 2 I brought today, I would recommend making in the moment. Just because, just like a regular cocktail, you want to shake it or you want to take flavors to intermingle, and they'll start to separate after a little while.
Okay.
Because the thing is, when you use natural ingredients as opposed to things with additives, because as it sits, it will start to separate and it'll start tasting different. That's because everything is fresh. No additives have been added to it.
And
So-
then the person who's enjoying it, who's ordered it, also feels like it's being made for them, just like someone who orders a cocktail.
Well, again, like I said, it's part of it is the experience. So when people like to sit at a bar because they like to watch a bartender make a cocktail, it's a bit of a show.
Yeah.
So no
Especially if
different
you're
with the
Tom
mocktail.
Cruise.
Right.
There you go.
So I hope you don't mind spice because the next one is going to be a hot lips margarita. So it's basically just jalapeno, lime, and then a little bit of fresh pineapple and fresh squeezed lime juice. We're going to use some natural agave nectar as well as the sweetener. So I already got a few things assembled. So
I mean, you have to love a mash
while we
reference,
chat.
right?
Too. There was another one I was going to make when you were doing the distillery talk. I was going to say BJ and Hawkeye having the gin
We
still.
are showing our
I don't
age.
get it.
You know, we are.
I
I
know.
know. She's 3 years younger than me.
You
You never watched MASH?
Mash, Hawkeye had the gin distillery thing in his
Okay,
mess tent.
Martha, we just aged ourselves. We just lost all
Just go back to
the
having your
Gen
moment.
Zs and
Go
millennials.
back to your moment.
This
This
is
is
like
last-
drinking a blackberry pie. FYI.
FYI.
See?
Okay, I want to say that I'm so special because I had this at Hummingbird that
You got to preview all of these.
with my friend Ani last Friday after we did our rehearsal, or Thursday, whatever it was.
I think it's funny.
I think
that
this
you
next
just
one was
said,
one of your favorites. I
I'm
think.
so special.
Well, I am. And
You know what?
the sooner we all accept that, the better.
Okay, so just like a regular margarita, with this one we're going to rim it with a little bit of salt.
Now that's
So
a
it's a rather complex drink. You'll get a little bit of heat from the jalapeno. You'll get a little bit of salt from the salt on the salt side of your glass. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to muddle the fresh jalapeno. So muddling is just when you add the fresh ingredients to ice and either salt or sugar, and then you just, you mix to combine it with the ice. That way you get the flavor.
Muddle the heck out of that.
I didn't know that.
And these you can actually make ahead of time. You can take all of the ingredients that I'm going to be using and you can put them in a mason jar up to the day before. Because if you like it a little spicier, the longer the jalapenos sit in the mix, the more heat you're going to get. I'm not going to kill you with this one, but you can up the spice level if you want to.
So, I have another question. If you go to a bar or restaurant that doesn't have non-alcoholic options on the bar menu, how does a bartender feel if someone says, which I often do, like, hey, would you be willing to make something up for me, like a non-alcoholic fun drink for me? And they'll say, okay, what kinds of things do you like or don't like? And I'm like, I like everything. I love ginger. I love lime. I love cucumber, mint. I just don't want super sweet. Is that like a pain in the neck for a bartender, or is that something that you don't mind the challenge, or just?
No, absolutely not. I mean, bartenders, at least good bartenders, love when people do that. Like I said, it's
Gives you a
at the
chance
core,
to.
it's about hospitality and it's about interacting, with the people that come in and giving them the right experience. So we are always happy to make something special for you that's going to make your dining experience, more special that night.
Good. Then I don't
Whether
feel
it's
so
with
bad.
alcohol or whatever, There you are.
Thank you.
And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't eaten in a restaurant since March 6th of 2020.
Wow.
So I am very, very much looking forward.
And we are happy to start welcoming our neighbors back. Right now, we do have one of the largest patios in Old Town. Oh, cheers, please.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Cheers to
Salute.
you, Ken. Thank you for your craft.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy. But, we have lots of dining options.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You
Is it
almost
pineapple?
don't, you don't miss the tequila. Yeah, it has pineapple in it. It has
does
fresh
not
lime
mean
juice.
tequila.
See?
Well, first
You
of all,
don't miss it
First
because
of
it
all,
has
tasty,
flavor.
because it's quality ingredients, it's very well crafted. I mean, you can cheat on some things. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to convert from my pop and pour over here.
You
and I'm
can
just gonna
make
have to
that,
go
or
in.
just go
no.
to
This is an art. This is an art. Well done.
very
Yeah,
well
appreciate
done. Cheers to you.
Thank you. Cheers to you. Thank you for having me over.
Oh my
Do we have any
gosh.
more questions coming in?
Oh, good.
That is so good.
Oh, Ken, this is a great question. This is from my friend Tracy. Can the recipes be shared?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So are we going to put them all on, we should talk
Zebra.
about that, and Zebra TV,
Yeah, we'll post them on our
Website?
socials, all the socials.
and sobrieties with my
I can't figure out the mask.
with my
like,
new
I know.
mask that
So
was made
confusing.
for me by my friend Yetta Condon of So in Love, who I love.
I mean, you are really good at merching.
Hey, you gotta rep the merch, and you gotta thank the merch reppers and all that. And look at Ken getting
Yes.
up there.
So nice. I think we have one more question coming in. Susan, how are we doing on time? Good.
We're at 47 minutes in.
Speaking of Susan, I do just want to say, because it means a lot to us that Susan is running this show for us. Do you remember that the very first interview when we launched in January of 2020, the Zebra was the first press that we got.
Yeah, they had just started below the Beltway, I think, which I think is super clever. And this whole like concept of just good news was kind of new to me. So I found that intriguing, and we sat down in a coffee shop, imagine, with Susan, and just kind of, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just in the conceptual phase of we should talk about that, which I think we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Oh, that happens to us all the time.
I don't know, 48 minutes in, it doesn't matter. But yeah, and now look what a difference a year can make, even in the middle of Shrub Off 2020. Is that what we call it? Yeah. It's incredible.
It's incredible. I do want to say, though, because a lot of people get our voices confused, so even though we're 48 minutes in, hi, I'm Jessica Kidwell. Who are you?
Oh, I'm over here drinking my mocktail. I'm Jess Buchanan, and we should talk about that. We are a conversational podcast that comes out every Monday, and we like to talk about uncomfortable things that no one's talking about, that everybody's thinking about. We think we should talk about those. So, on that note, we are excited to do these shows in collaboration with ZTV and hosted at ALX Community, which has beautiful work share space. You can become a member. They are also going to be linked so that you can check out the offerings that they have in this fantastic space. They are expanding throughout Old Town. They have some exciting projects coming up. And we are planning on doing this monthly. We will be having monthly We Stat Lives from ALX Community. We cannot wait to find out what we're going to talk about next. Oh, this just in.
So I think what the message we're getting is that these mocktails you can get to go from Hummingbird, and the charcuterie you can get to go as well. So in the COVID world that we're in, and not eating in restaurants as we miss, a lot of this stuff you can order ahead of time, drive by and pick it up. So
I would highly recommend having Ken pack up these two cocktails, Shrub Off 2020, and what was this one?
That is the
Hot Lips.
Hot Lips.
Hot Lips.
My lips do feel a little bit.
oh, this is
Mine do
so
not.
good.
Mine just feel delicious.
Yeah, but everything is available to go. All of the food, our entire menu, our dinner bags, it's all about options these days in the COVID world. So we have a gorgeous outdoor patio if it's mild enough weather. We are doing safe dine-in. We have barriers. Everything's, socially distanced. Or we're happy to deliver all of these wonderful flavors, food, mocktails, cocktails, everything for you to take home as well. It's Alexandria, so everyone walks their dog. Just walk the dog over to the patio and pick up dinner or mocktails or take home and have a party.
There you go.
Thank you, Ken.
And I want to thank you guys.
Thank you, Martha, for being our ride or die. You've been there from the beginning, and we are excited to have you be our first guest to kick off this new adventure for us.
This is awesome. And ZTV and Zebra have been wonderful to me. Mary Wadland, who's my golf buddy, and Susan Fleischman is just amazing to get us all together. Love you. And there might have to be a whole new chapter in the next book about this,
Let's do it.
So always appreciate getting a chance to visit with you ladies. And I love what you're doing.
Let's do air cheers.
Air cheers.
Air cheers.
Thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody.